Welcome back to the Ticker Signal, where we go in-depth and unpack our research on specific stocks and discuss the risks. Today, we will be talking about Micron Technology, with ticker symbol MU.
All right, let's just jump straight into it. If you've been keeping an eye on the semiconductor space, you already know Micron has been on an absolute tear. And that momentum, it's continuing right now. I mean, the stock has skyrocketed an incredible 265% over the past year. Yeah, you heard that right. That kind of move definitely gets everyone's attention.
So that really brings us to the big question, right? The one we're here to unpack. After a run like that, what happens next? Is this thing just getting started, ready to explode higher thanks to AI? Or has it gone too far, too fast? Is it about to implode? Let's dig into both sides of the argument.
Okay, let's start with the bull case. And really, it all comes down to one thing: the AI memory boom. This is the single biggest tailwind in tech right now, maybe ever. And we're not just talking about hype here. This is a fundamental structural shift in the entire industry. And Micron? Well, they're positioned right in the middle of it all.
So at the very heart of this AI revolution is one critical piece of tech: high bandwidth memory, or HBM for short. Now, what is that? Well, think of it like a super fast multi-lane highway built right next to the AI processor. It's this specialized, incredibly quick memory that lets those powerful AI chips grab huge amounts of data in the blink of an eye. You absolutely need this stuff to train and run the complex AI models we're seeing today.
And this really drives the point home. We're not talking about your standard run-of-the-mill computer chips here. No way. Micron's advanced memory, it's literally the lifeblood of the entire data economy. It's what powers everything, from those gigantic data centers that the cloud companies run, all the way down to the smart devices in your hand. Let's be clear. Without this technology, the whole AI revolution just stops.
And just look at the size of this opportunity. I mean, the numbers are staggering. The HBM market is expected to just explode, going from about $3 billion in 2023 to, get this, over $100 billion by 2030. That is just an insane growth curve. A rising tide like that is powerful enough to lift all the boats in this harbor, creating a demand cycle like we've never seen before.
Okay, so we've established the market is absolutely enormous. But the big question is, what makes Micron special? Why are they the ones who are uniquely positioned to grab a huge slice of this pie? Well, that brings us to what we call their strategic moat.
And Micron's position here is honestly formidable. They're a leader in HBM and advanced DRAM technology. But here's the kicker. They are the only US-based memory manufacturer. In today's world, that is a huge geopolitical advantage. On top of that, they're getting a ton of support from the CHX Act. You throw in an experienced CEO like Sanjay Mehrotra and a library of over 52,000 patents, and you've got a really, really strong setup.
And let's not forget how incredibly hard this business is to get into. You want to build a new state-of-the-art memory factory? Be prepared to write a check for over $15 billion. That creates this massive wall, a huge barrier to entry. It basically means only a tiny handful of established players can even compete. This isn't a business you can just start in your garage, that's for sure.
So the bull case is pretty compelling, right? You've got a booming market, a fantastic strategic position. It almost sounds like a slam dunk. And you knew there was a but coming. With any stock that's this hot, there's always another side of the story. And this race is a long, long way from being won.
Which, of course, brings us to the bear case. Because for all of Micron's strengths, you have to remember, they operate in a notoriously brutal industry. They're facing some serious headwinds and some really, really high-stakes competition.
And here's the thing you absolutely have to know. For all this talk about Micron's tech, they are not the market leader in HBM. Not even close. That title belongs to SK Hynix from South Korea, which has a whopping 62% market share. How? Well, a big part of that is their exclusive deal to supply NVIDIA with their latest HBM3E chips. That means Micron and Samsung are basically playing catch-up to a rival that has a massive head start.
And the hits keep coming for the bears. The memory industry is infamous for these wild, brutal boom and bust cycles. The competition from giants like Samsung and SK Hynix, it's absolutely relentless. You constantly have to pour billions and billions into R&D and new factories just to stay in the game. And let's not forget the geopolitical chess game between the US and China, which creates this constant cloud of uncertainty over the whole sector. These are huge risks, and nobody in this industry is immune. And all of this brings us to the elephant in the room: valuation. You put all these risks together, and it leads some analysts to a pretty surprising conclusion: a sell recommendation. The thinking is pretty simple.
After a 265% run-up, has all the good news and maybe even a perfect future already been priced into the stock? If so, the risk versus the potential reward just doesn't look that great from here.
So there you have it, two completely different stories. On one hand, you have this massive AI-fueled opportunity. On the other, you have intense competition and evaluation that might be in the stratosphere. So, how do we put these two sides together and make sense of it all?
Okay, let's just boil it down. The bull case is this. Micron is a tech leader, right at the center of the AI revolution, with a unique strategic advantage being based in the US. The bear case? They're in a tough, cyclical business, fighting giants for market share, and the stock price might have already baked in all the optimism. And you know what? Both sides make some really good points.
So when you get right down to it, the whole thing hangs on this question. Can Micron's amazing tech and its strategic position finally overcome the industry's historical volatility and that incredibly crowded field? The risks are very real, but the bulls believe that if Micron can execute flawlessly, its real growth story might just be getting started, with many pointing to 2026 as the year it could truly explode. And that is the multi-billion-dollar question for anyone looking at this stock. Thanks for watching this video. If you found the information helpful, please consider subscribing and sharing. See you.